Hello, hello. Welcome to the accountability call, the last accountability call of 2024. Here we are. Here we are. Number 62. We have hit 62 of these where we have come together to hold each other accountable to doing the things that we must do, we don't want to do, we have to do in order to achieve our goals. And this accountability call is going to be a bit different because we are going to be doing a year in review of 2024, the things we've learned, the things we've accomplished, the sayings we come up with. If you have been following us, you know we will come up with a saying. Okay. So, ladies, how are y'all feeling on this good December 30th? Exactly. Exactly.
Confusion, proud, grateful, glorious. If I even may say, I feel glorious. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good. I like it's been a year. Okay.
Listen.
2024 has been a year, but I think I'm excited about doing this year in review because we have all lived so much life and made it through challenges and had big celebrations. But oftentimes we only think about the now that we're in. And so I think this is going to be a good opportunity to take a look back and just remember the time, as Michael Jackson said. So I'm excited about that.
I love it. So usually what we do is, what did you learn last week? Right? From all the things. But I feel like we should just dive in to our review and talk about potentially like some things that we learned this year. I will start because I've created a post on my page, on my Instagram page, Inez Creates Income. And it was titled The 24 Business and Life Lessons I Learned in 2024. And a lot of them came from our sayings and just sayings I've seen in videos and such. And let me see. One of the biggest ones that stands out to me is emotions destroy wealth and strategies build it. Right. And that was a learning lesson for me because in general, it's not that you can't have emotions, but when you're making decisions out of your emotions, then I feel like that is when it can destroy your progress, your momentum, right? It can keep you stuck. So that was one of my major takeaways this year. What else on here? Child. Oh, capability does not equal capacity. Okay.
Now that's a word right there.
Listen, we've been talking about, just because you can do something does not mean you should be doing it or that you have the capacity to do it or the energy to it. That has been huge because, baby, when I tell you I have not had the capacity to do the things I know I'm capable of doing this year. Yes. What else? One of them I don't think I ever shared on here, but I heard it in a video. And it talks about how doubt is your form or consciousness trying to hold on. Right. And it talks about how when you're changing into a new person, right? And you're becoming a new person and you are enveloping a new identity, which I think all of us have been doing this year, right? As we grow deeper in entrepreneurship and we bet on ourselves more and we're trying more riskier things in order to create the life that we want to create, doubt comes up. And what he said is that doubt is your consciousness trying to hold on to your old identity. It's trying to keep you safe. It's trying to keep you where you are, right? It's saying, no, that's not that new person you becoming. That's not us, girl. That's not us. Like, we're this over here. And so that's a huge lesson for me because I feel like I've had so much doubt. Oh, we lost Eve. I've had so much doubt in this journey, and just knowing that, just normalizing the doubt and be like, this is not abnormal and it doesn't really mean anything, right? Like I could just continue to move through it. Not a big deal. So those are three of my biggest lessons. I'll tell you, it's a whole 24 different joints on here. What are some of yours, Z?
So I'm thinking about times that I was doubting myself and I had to put some respect on my own name and my own experience. A couple of them come to mind. One specifically was later in the year, where I was working with this new partner and I was, having to be the lead on like some research stuff. And I was like, I ain't never done it before. And when I showed up with my deliverables, my new partner was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is the greatest thing ever." And I was just like, "Oh, that is me." You know what I'm saying? I have done that. But I think about so many things. So there are a couple sayings that we came up with throughout the year. One was respect the small. And so making sure that you're doing the little things and not always focusing on the big things. I thought that was a good one. Also remove all the limits in all the places. So whatever those limits are, like we got to get rid of those, push through them. My word for that week was limitless ease. When I put 2025, it's going to be all about the ease, baby. So just remembering when that came up. Take greatness off the table. Sometimes you just got to get it done. And as we say, on top of together, slap it together, put it together, just get it done. And so sometimes we have these like super high expectations of how we're supposed to deliver something. And really we need to just get it done because ordinary you get you extraordinary results.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's another big takeaway this year. This is a big ordinary you gets you extraordinary success.
Oh my gosh.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy. I just am reminded of the times where I came up with different affirmations. And just being reminded of my own personal magic. And again, I don't think this is one that I shared here, but just going through my notes, I remember being in a session and they were asking like, what is your magic? And it's funny how when you ask your brain a question, it comes up with the answer that you didn't think about. And so mine was, I am a beacon and safe space for truth. And that just felt so powerful. Be able to write down and understand that like people who come to me, they bring me their truth and I'm a safe space for that truth. And there's so many people who don't have spaces where they can authentically show up as themselves. Understand that whoever that is amazing, is awesome. And you don't need to be no more or be no less. So those were the sayings and affirmations. And I just want to point out that I finally got my taxes done. Okay.
Come on.
It took me 11 months. Okay. Yeah. But all of that was like the waiting behind it. We think about procrastination and it's so easy to be hard on yourself for not doing the things that you need to do. But it's usually some type of fear that's getting in the way. And I just really in my head, like I was going to jail for taxes. Like that's it. I felt like they was coming to get you. And I was going to be Wesley Snipes. Like there was no in between, there was no middle. And so that was the thing that kept me from taking action. But I finally did it. Did I do some things wrong? Kind of. But guess what? It's done. And now we have solutions, right? But like just getting things done and that whole point of like removing all the limits, just pushing through your fears is so important. So it's been a doggone good year. Yes. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Right, which is hilarious.
But I'm choosing to focus on all the good things, not to say that there weren't, rocky times along the way. So that's my reflection on 2024.
Eve, any major takeaways, like lessons learned this year that stand out in your mind?
Zanisha kind of said it a little bit too, just like it's also too on my phone, on my on the back of my screen, like on my phone it says you survived 100% of your words a days. And on that note, even with me when I was sitting down and like reflecting and looking at some of my to-dos, a lot of my to-dos were like attached to like some really crazy pain points in my life that I had to like figure out how to navigate through. And I did. It was done. It was completed. It got did. Some things took longer than it needed to in my mind, and I'm learning that is never on your time. It's nice that you have a plan, Eve. It's very nice. It's very, very nice. But things gonna get done when they need to get done. And even with me reflecting with on like my goals and stuff like that and processing through them, I wrote myself a letter, and I, to Zanisha's point, stuck on the journey and mentioned some things about the outcomes as well, of some things that I'm very proud of and some things that I need to continue with. So I'll just share the letter with y'all. So it says, Dear Eve, 2024 was a year of growth, resilience, and profound clarity. You navigated its challenges with grace as much as possible, with your friends dragging you to your excellence, turning uncertainty into opportunity, and staying true to your values. You leaned into self-care, reminding yourself that your well-being is foundational to everything else. Dancing, reading, moving your body, finding joy in the small, quiet moments became your anchor. You learned the power of saying no without guilt. We still learning that though. Choosing presence and restoration over unnecessary hustle. Professionally, you showed up in remarkable ways. You delivered on complex research projects in your work, in your business. You engaged in high-profile opportunities and made space for meaningful connections. Your voice grew louder and clear, whether it was at Harvard or through a workshop or through public speaking engagements. You proved to yourself that your expertise is valuable and your perspective is needed. You took bold steps in your creative life as well, balancing content creation with rest and authenticity. You didn't chase perfection. You embraced progress, trusting that consistent imperfection action, one of the other things that we have, to lead you to your goals. And let's not forget the work you did in your real estate and managing your finances. You managed multiple priorities with intention, all while building a solid foundation for your future. And above all, you nurtured your dreams by calling in opportunities that align to your purpose. You dared to ask for what you deserved. You leaned into hard conversations and therapy, and you honored your boundaries the best way you can. Eve, you should be proud. This year reminded you that it's not just about what you achieve, but how you feel while doing it. You live with purpose, compassion, and courage, and you are prepared more than ever for the next chapter. With love and admiration, yourself, Eve.
I love it. I love it. Yes, so good. The imperfect action and allowing yourself to be imperfect and saying no, right, is so good. Like, I think I've learned that as well this year. Okay, so let's talk about some of the biggest goals we've accomplished this year. Right? Like, what's something that stands out to you is like, I feel like one of my children are coming, y'all. Yes. You have to wait. Watch that one. Free coming here telling me she want to watch a different show that she already watched. Like, look, girl. Yeah, like when I think about, to Eve's point, there have been some really hard days this year, and we've survived them all.
Jesus.
Right. I mean, I will tell you, even over the last couple of weeks, I have had some really hard days. I was just like, I don't know if this is going to be the thing, and have survived them. Okay. Like, so thinking about even some of the goals that we set for ourselves that were really, something difficult for us to do or to get done, that we've achieved. The first one that comes to mind for me is being able to raise the $67,000 that I had to raise for my property. Now, I did the majority of that like mental work in 2023, but I did not actually finalize it until 2024. And for me, that was huge because I was looking at on my was it this one? I was looking at my book, and I remember wanting to raise the money from Mike and just being like in a space where I was just like, I don't know, like if he's gonna give us the money, and just I don't know if we're gonna be able to finish the property, and just all of these things. And I wrote in my book reasons why Mike is going to give us this money.
Mm.
And I probably had like 10 of them. And that really helped me to get in the mindset of like, there is good reason for him to do this, right? There is good reason for him to trust us. There's good reason for him to invest in us. And it allowed me to shift the energy when I had the conversation with him to an energy of confidence and assurity, as opposed to an energy of what felt like just begging. Right. And I really think that helped me to secure that money. And it was huge because at the time we were like, there's no way that we can move forward on our property without this money. So that was one of my huge accomplishments of 2024. What about y'all?
It's gonna be a little bit different, but mine is just gonna be revenue, right? Because as an entrepreneur, trying to figure out how to get from I have an idea to people are paying me for the ideas that I have, it is not an easy road. Okay. It is not. And I transitioned completely out of my severance package and had to solely rely on, my companies making money. And so I think about the many ways that I was able to do that. Like, last year I got my certification in DISC assessments. I was able to execute a DISC assessment. I work with the local community college here to do a team building exercise. I work with the city of Monroe to develop some marketing materials. I had 3 new coaching clients, 4 actually. And these are all like, when they say respect the small, like you have to do 1 before you could do 2. You have to do 2 before you do 10. And this was a season of taking 1 step, honestly, in a lot of different directions, which at times felt a little like I was all over the place, or like I wasn't making progress in the way that I wanted to. But all of those different experiences not only, helped me to be able to live. I'm sorry. I always talk about my consulting company. I also have a trucking company, right?
Hello.
Something small, like, and I don't want to say it's small. Something that I realized when I finally did my taxes, was that in 2023, we made $90,000 in revenue.
Come on.
Like, I didn't even know that. I was just doing the work every week. Now, granted, $90,000 don't end up in your pocket.
Right. But still.
Business expenses. But once I did it was like, oh, girl, like,
yes,
you almost broke 6 figures in your first full year of your trucking company.
Yes.
And so, again, when we talk about respect the small, I hate admin. I hate admin so much. And it was uncovered for me why that was tied to some childhood trauma of being afraid to get in trouble because if I make a mistake. But being able to push through and get those administrative filings done, like, showed me the work that I've been doing in a way that, like, just doing the work every day, you forget. So I'll say making revenue, the second year of business for my 2 companies was huge. Like, and every month you're grinding it out, trying to find a new revenue source, find new ways to market, new products to offer. And it is relentless, right? Because the first doesn't hit, sometimes the 10th doesn't hit. You gotta keep trying. You gotta stay in the factory, keep building, so that you can make some money, whatever that number ends up being. So I'm gonna say actually making revenue as an entrepreneur.
Come on.
My God. Yes. Thank you, Lord.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Eve.
Zanitra, congratulations, boo. Like, I'm still shook boots. What? This is amazing. That's amazing. That's beyond amazing. Like, people in their first 4 to 7 years of business sometimes don't even really break even per se in a sense, but like, and make a substantial amount of profit. But for you to be here like in year 1, like, oh yeah, it's only up from here. Yeah. I think for me, which wasn't necessarily really a goal and what I wrote down weekly, but was so needed for me this year was changing my environment. Get out of America.
Oh yeah.
I keep saying to myself, and I keep having moments where I'm like, I'm really living the life I said I wanted to live with what I thought was going to be a decade from now that I'm doing now. Yes, unfortunately, as sad as it is to say, because of a health scare and things like that, it's sad that crazy things have to happen to you before you really realize like what's important, or maybe not even what's important, like how meaningless a lot of things are in life that you've been giving meaning to. So I think one of my biggest accomplishments was making a jump to being in an environment that's well suited for me to just continue healing and also just do good work. Like, which leads me to my second point of like the fact that like I ended up securing a really dope contract doing work with a really amazing company, and then getting to go speak at Harvard. And literally all the work that I did to go speak at Harvard, I did it while I was like not in America. I work so much better when I'm not in America. Aside from all of that, just the main point is major goal was making the leap and the step to change my environment to then change my mindset, doing amazing work and getting seen, heard, and elevated for it at a prestigious institution, but really like for me. I would say just stabilizing, just being able to stabilize throughout the year and have some really amazing growth moments. I'm really proud of.
Yes.
Yeah, you definitely have been Carmen Sandiego this year. Okay.
Yes. But where in the world is Evil Stretch?
Yes, like, and that it didn't hit me that it started at the beginning of this year, but you have been talking about being out of the country for a while, and you have really created it this year for yourself. So kudos to you for doing that. Let me think. So it's funny because as I'm sitting here, we're looking at my list of accomplishments. You know, us overachievers, we be like, this ain't really accomplishment.
Like, used to be like
I'm like, so I'm gonna read what it say. Okay,
read what it say.
I'm gonna read what it say.
Okay.
So some of my other accomplishments is this March, I did a partnership with a friend of mine who has a PR company and a nonprofit called Women in Media here in Philly. And we had an event called Escape the Busy and Get Away that I hosted with women who wanted to be able to create more opportunity to step away from their busy lives and be able to travel the world more freely, plan more easily, figure out how to have the money, all of these things. And for me, the reason why I wrote this down as an accomplishment was because I literally spent this event up in like 4 weeks, like, and was able to get like 25 women in the room and get a free venue, right? Like, it was just like I was actually having a conversation with my friend because she was my PR contact last year. She helped me get in Travel Noir last year, and we were catching up. And she was telling me some of the things she was doing. And I was like, oh, like, you know, if you're thinking about doing something in Philly, she was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. And then it just out of nowhere, it was like, okay, yeah, now I'm hosting the event. And I got 4 weeks to put this together. And so it was huge. Like, I promoted it, was able to come up with basically a whole workshop, which I'm not the workshop person, but I was able to gather my workshop person, Zanitra, to help me put the workshop. And just really be able to pour out what I know, right? And take it and put it into something that is digestible for people. So it was huge. Like, I met so many new people, grew my email list, was able to see, because one of my biggest issues or one of my biggest troubles when I was doing my travel coaching was like, I knew the things that I was sharing with people was transformational, but a lot of times when you're just putting it out online, you don't get to see it in real time with people. And so being able to hear the takeaways that people had and the realizations that people had was huge for me at this event. because it's like, okay, like this is actually landing, like it's landing in people's minds, it's helping them in some way. So yeah, so that was big for me, like this year. I'm like, and that event is like the basis of what will become a like a webinar or something that I want to sell with regard to a digital product. Just being able to like reuse it. So yeah, so that was one of the things that I put on here. And then also, I wasn't like, I feel like I said at the beginning of the year, and I don't know if I wrote it down, that I wanted to grow my mom circle, like my mom friend circle here. I had like a few friends, but not really like a community that I felt like, you know, I could call up and be like, hey girl, can I drop 2 and free off? Or like, come on over, or let's do a play date. And it's kind of accidentally, but in essence, when I look at it, I'm like, technically it was on purpose. It just happened in a way that I didn't expect, right? I started to build Moms Off Duty, right? And it turned into, like, it came about because it was like, hey, like, I want a group of moms who are also interested in being able to maintain their self-identity while they're being amazing mothers, want to be able to travel, want to be able to hang out, want to be able to, you know, have a community of moms that support each other in doing that. And initially it was like, all right, let me just have a meetup, right? But what it turned into was a group of women who I can really rely on. Like, I'm having a little New Year's Day get together potluck in my house, and the women in this group are bringing their kids and bringing their husbands, and that was not a thing at the beginning of 2024. Like, I didn't have that community that I could tap into. And so between that and the Kids Off Duty event that I had, like, I feel like I've created this community here that I can tap into for support when I need it, from a mom perspective, from a wife perspective, even from a businesswoman perspective, because many of them have those qualities. And then also, I just have a group of people that I could just lean on to get my kids out to do something with other kids. So that was one of the accomplishments I wrote down as well. And then something that I didn't think about until I was looking through here. So this year financially has been really heavy for us. Like, we haven't been able to do some of the things that we usually do. And so I've had to be very resourceful in the way that we in the way that we spend our money, right? And so for me, I'm like, the things that I have been able to do with a little bit of coins this year, like, it's just like, necessity is the root of what, Eve? Like, it's something like, something comes from necessity. Like, I can't think of it either.
Necessity is the root of, now I have to go figure it out.
I can't remember it. But basically, when you absolutely need something, that's when you come up with all these ideas. So one of the things that I came up with was
like innovation, I think.
Innovation.
Yeah. It was adversity, not necessity, but something, one of them.
So I think, so one of the things was, I figured out how to buy our food in bulk. So we buy from, organic, whole food, blah, blah, blah. But inflation been inflating, and whole foods is costing way more. So I was able to find a way for us to buy our food in bulk, which crazily, like, it was something I could have done years ago, but didn't necessarily have to do, so didn't think about. So we started using Azure Standard, and that has been a huge blessing, because now we buy all of our dry foods, all of our, like, things that are not fruits and vegetables, from a company that's all the way in Washington State. It gets shipped all the way, like, drove across the United States over here, and we get to buy things, at half the price. And now we have something that when we do get our coins up, like, it's going to allow us to continue to be able to save. I was able to implement velocity banking, where we were able to leverage our credit and our credit cards, as well as our minimum payment on our credit cards and our bills, in a way that allowed us to be able to grow the points we needed, and at the same time be able to not have to pay both our minimum payment and all of our bills. Like, it allowed us to just use our bills as our minimum payment. I would have never even known about velocity banking had I not been in a situation where I had to make the decision about whether or not we were going to be paying credit card bills and paying bills, right? So, like, these are all key like strategies that have come about this year because of the financial strain of being a full-time entrepreneur, that now when we get into this season of abundance, it's like it's gonna be even more of an overflow, because we have created all of these systems in the deficit that allow us to take advantage of the overflow even more. So like, to me, that is like a huge accomplishment, because I feel like the ideas that I've come up with or just implemented would have never come about, because I ain't really never had to think about money up until this year. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yes.
I was thinking about something that I feel like I did well, and that was get outside. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As an entrepreneur, a solopreneur who works from home, it is very easy to just be in the house working.
Mm-hmm.
But I am proud of the way that I've been able to work with other organizations to build relationships, having all of the lunches, going to all of the functions, doing all the networking things, and meeting people. And something that's kind of outside, pre and post 2024. When Inez hosted her mastermind session in Belize in 2020.
Oh yes.
She asked the question of like, what do you want to be the master of? And I said something that I don't even know that it made sense when I said it, but I said it anyway. And I wanted to be a master collaborator. And so that was something that I spoke in 2023 that I've built in 2024. And I know that for 2025, it will be manifested, right? So this was the year of like groundwork and meeting the different people and having the conversations and finding the synergies, finding the alignment, finding the opportunities. And now as I sit here on the 30th of December, I have 4 collaborations that will probably sustain me for all of 2025.
Come out.
So, it's like you say something not even knowing like where it's going to take you. And then you do the work and then you're like, oh shoot. So it may not happen within the year. So I spoke it in 2023 and it'll be manifested in 2025. But I'm so glad that I did the work of getting outside to be able to become that master collaborator that I had decided that I wanted to be in 2023.
Listen, every time I talked to Z, she was in the car this year, y'all. Going somewhere to meet somebody and do something. Okay. So when I tell you she was outside, and I will also say, in addition to just being outside, you also were significantly more outside with regard to your workout routine too, because you were like walking around the community and just that type of stuff. Like, so yeah, and even sitting outside on your porch, like, just all of the things, like getting all that good vitamin D and all of them good collaborations.
Oh, and I got my award this year. This is my first award. Okay.
Come on.
Venetia Perry is Woman of Influence for Union County Chamber of Commerce.
Oh,
come on. Yes.
This year. Let's celebrate that.
Come out. Like,
I forgot.
Yeah, and I'm very proud of that. I have that and my Clio, my marketing award. As soon as you walk in my house, you're gonna see those 2 awards. But even that, you don't think about how the work you're doing today will influence the accolades of tomorrow, right? And so going outside, having all of these collaborations, working with these different people, being active in the community are the things that led to not only my nomination, but also me winning, because you had to be nominated, right? Like you can't even pay from outside the club. You can't win an award that nobody nominated.
Right.
So I was grateful to even be nominated, and then to actually win the award. It's like, okay, just keep going. Like this is proof of you doing the good work, and that people are seeing it and it's having the positive impact that you want. So that's definitely an accomplishment for me for 2024.
So I feel like I want to talk about like our vision for 2025. Not even necessarily the goal.
Can we do something before we do that? And I think you've done a bit of a good job, but I'd like for each of us to call out one thing that we remember about the other, that like we're either celebrating them, we're proud of them for, a moment, a connecting moment, because we are on here together all the time, and we all generally speak from the I space and we pour into each other, but we are also watching one another. So I think it's important for us to be able to celebrate each other. So if we can think about that, I'll say Eve stands out to me first because, baby, you've been growing this year. Okay, you've been doing the hard work. And a lot of
Welcome
times,
to 30. Welcome to 30.
listen. What's that? August? Your August birthday?
Yes, girl.
I remember the month.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm proud of you because you have taken off your cape and allowed the community and your village to show up for you and support you and help you so that you don't have to do it all by yourself. I am reminded of the time where you were staying with different people, but you were going to support other people. And I'm happy that you allow people to support you as well. You remember when I remember you went and took care of somebody's baby, one of your friends' babies. You just be hopping all over the place in only a way that, Carmen Sandiego can do. You give that support so often, but I'm super proud of you for also allowing people to pour into you. And I think even in these last couple of weeks, you've talked about things that your friends have said to you or therapists or whoever. So as proud of you I am of the Harvard and the super visible stuff, I'm also super proud of you in the work that you're doing quietly.
Thank you.
So that's my
I'm over here thinking because the thing is I'm thinking about Z, but I'm like I talk to Z so much off of the camera. I'm like it's so many things like that. Like, so one of the biggest things I'm thinking about, and this is like off accountability call is, and I think this is one of the things that opened up the door for the joy that you're experiencing in your personal life. And I think it is when you let go of the need to consider the past, right, in your decisions. Right? When you saw, and I think it was like Mother's Day of this year, right? When you realize like I don't have to do that anymore, right? It doesn't mean anything. I don't need to control that situation anymore, right? I don't need to consider that situation anymore. Like I am going to just turn and move forward, right? And I feel like that unlocked something. It unlocked something. And the seed that needed to grow, like, was just starting to get water and water and water and water and water. And now it is like sprouting so beautifully in your life and creating so much joy in your life and just putting you in a position where, and this is another thing I want to talk about, that you are literally having to lean heavily into your feminine, lean heavily into your softness, like literally just sit down.
Sit down somewhere.
And release control and know that you can be taken care of, right? That somebody has you and you don't have to worry about it. Like, I just love that. So I'm so happy to see that in your life because I feel like I've been through all of the journey, right? Like, and it's just like, wow, like, yes, girl, yes. So yes, I'm really proud of you for just allowing this because I know it has been very uncomfortable because it is so good. Like it's uncomfortably good. Like I'm gonna do that. Oh, okay. I'm gonna just allow to be uncomfortable, child. I'm gonna just enjoy the uncomfort of this wonderful joy. Like, so yes.
Thank you for that. That is a moment.
Yes.
That was a moment. I remember where I was. We was on the phone. We talked about it.
Yes, I know. Yes,
I remember. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for that.
I feel like as the parent to many, but the birth giver to none, I want to tell you both something I feel like I realized and observed as you all as both moms doing this. Like, I admire y'all so much. I remember there were times and moments where you were balancing everything that was going on in baby girl's life and some growing pains that she was having and whatnot. and just being there for her and still finding a way to show up for her and show up here for us and in this call. And just those moments where like I would see yourself tinkering on the fact like, oh, this is the type of parent that I am. Like I sit, I listen, I contribute, like I give intentional conversation, intentional time, like, you know, like, and I noticed that because I didn't have that growing up. So I just wanted to tell you for those moments that I noticed of you that like you are an amazing mom, like you're an amazing mom. And I hope the babies see that. Because wow. And if for Nezzy, for you, with all the time chewing free will be coming and making their guest appearances. But then even outside of that, just like you taking the time to really the less is more, like really understanding like right now I need to be a very, very present mother for my children, and how that basically goes into you being a very, very present entrepreneur and businesswoman. I see that focus in you so clearly now. More like not saying more than ever, but I feel like I noticed it throughout our time here. Like you just like so focused and just so true to being like I'm a mom right now, and now I'm an entrepreneur. I'm balancing both my worlds. I'm empowered by both my worlds. None of them is like taking anything away from me. And that was something I really appreciated watching you throughout this year for sure. I noticed. That's on the mommy notes. But on the business notes, I'll save it for the next round.
Okay, so Inez, girl, I mean, I've been here forever.
Listen.
So it's so funny to watch you learn you. Because I'm always thinking, I'm like, yeah, girl, that's who you are. And you be like, well, girl, I'm the type that I'm going to research and I'm going to dive all the way in. I'm going to go to
right.
You
like, yes, I know.
I'm like, you didn't just get here. You've been that. Like, I remember you carrying the big book from you being in AP literature. And I was like, girl, I'm never doing that. And you've always been a deep dive, front to back, you know, cover to cover type of person. But it's been beautiful to watch you see yourself more clearly. And almost like lean more into who you are and less into who you think you're supposed to be.
Yes.
And that, because that has been a journey. And I think all the way back to what's the you taught us something early on with the different energies and the generator versus what's that called?
Oh yeah, human design.
You taught us about human design, and you learned about your own human design. And that has then helped you understand other people better. You looked at your children, you looked at your husband, you looked at your friends. And so you are gaining a stronger sense of who you are, but then also how others are different and learning how to navigate in that. So that has been beautiful to watch. And I just love seeing you be like, girl, you know, I do this. I'm like, yeah, girl.
Yeah.
You've always done that, but that's
I did not know, child. It's right. It's funny you should say that, because I was telling Tawanda, I'm doing a whole bunch of like recording now, and I see my quirks in recording. Like I chew my tongue a lot when I'm thinking or doing something. And Free does it a lot. And Tawanda like, you know, she get that from you. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't realize how much I do it until I started recording myself. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I didn't even know. Like craziness. Yeah. Yes. No, what I'll say about Eve is I feel like one of your biggest accomplishments, I think, this year is just being so much more patient and compassionate with yourself. Like, I have known you forever now, and I just be like, honey, the way you work yourself like a horse, like you be on top of you, like, okay, your foot is on, it's used to stay on your neck, girl. Like, and I just be like, hey, girl, no, like, but this year, girl, you have really just released that, and I think, you know, realistically, I think that was never your voice anyway. That was never your voice anyway. And I am so proud of you for, like, literally, I feel like the whole damn year, your word has been rest and restoration. And I'm just like, so good. That's so good, because you have entered a new decade of life. And I think that idea of restoration, compassion, just being kind to yourself is going to get you so much further mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, which is going to allow for, because that's really the roots, right? It's going to allow for the fruits and the blossoming that you want within your life, and for it to feel better, right? When you achieve the things, right? Because I think, we all are achievers, and a lot of, like, just like I was saying earlier, like, we will be achieving. We don't actually feel the satisfaction of it, right? Or the peace of it, or the accomplishment of it. And I feel like the work that you've been doing this year to really just be kinder to yourself and be compassionate to yourself, and allow yourself to go out and dance, and just go out and play, and go out and garden, and do nothing, and just be okay with doing that, is going to allow the things that you accomplish to feel so much more fruitful in your spirit as your years of 30, your decade of 30 pans out. Like, and so I'm so proud of you, because I know it wasn't your voice this whole time, but I feel like, you have grown up into the woman you're, like we talked about earlier this year. We talked about, like, we talk about the new Eve.
Yeah.
We talk about, like, the new Eve, and how, like, this Eve is requiring that of you. Right? Yeah. This Eve is like, girl, we ain't doing that. But we're gonna rest, we're gonna dance, we're gonna eat our food, we're gonna take care of our health, and we're gonna say hell no. Like, that's what we do. Like, and so I'm super proud of you for really just leaning into that version of you.
Thank you. I love y'all so much. The word that came up from my mind for Z was follow up, and the phrase for Inez was do hard things. But for Z, the follow up, like following up, whether it be like contacts, connections, going back to stuff with the taxes and stuff like that. Like, you were so adamant about doing small action steps to just get you to your bigger goal. It don't matter if it was like taxes, maybe to 11 months, like following up with people led to like that speaking engagement within 3 months. But like for you, what I noticed was like you created more systems and systems of ease in your business to be able to like continue producing revenue generating activities. And I hope when you sit down and you think about 2025, I hope you really see whatever systems you created, so, and make sure that they like just like find a way to automate them seamlessly, or give to someone else on your team, so you could continue to figure out like, how do I automate just this follow-up that I got to do as like the entrepreneur, the CEO in my business, so I could like have my time to myself. So even on the days when your energy was low, you still were able to like just get stuff done. And I saw it getting easier for you as time went by. So I would say that's something that I noticed from you for sure, that I feel like you should be really proud of for your 2024. And if Inez do hard things, baby girl, that you can do. I feel like I saw you work through the belief that you can do hard things over and over again, even though you already knew it, but God kept putting tests in front of you to prove to you that you can, especially again, as you keep evolving, like still being a very much so young mom, young in the years of the marriage and everything like that. And you're still young in the very long years of recovery of your health and stuff like that. I feel like God kept testing you with like doing hard things, and you showed out every single time. And I commend you for that, because nobody could take that away from you. You can do anything. That's one of the things I feel like I love about you, is just always realizing that you truly, really can do anything.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, girl. I was, child. This year has been a doozy. I'm so glad we have this recorded. Like, I'm so glad we have this whole year recorded. Okay, like every week, almost every week. I think we maybe have missed like maybe 3, like, well, literally every week. Because baby, when I say reflection, we gonna be reflecting on this year. Like, woo, wow, girl, we really did some stuff.
When we're going to talk about 2025, but we haven't done a round of positive overthinking in a while.
Oh, I feel like we just did it last time.
Well, we're doing it again for 2020.
Okay, we're doing it again.
This is specifically for 2025.
Okay.
Positive overthinking.
Ooh,
So,
child.
for those of you who aren't familiar, this is challenging us to come up with positive what ifs. Most of the times when you say, well, what if X, Y, and Z happens, it's negative. And so we are intentionally flipping that around, making it a positive. There are two rules. What you say has to be positive. It has to be a positive what if statement, and it has to be stated in the affirmative, meaning you can't say, what if I don't? You can't say, what if I don't mess up? You have to say, what if I get it right? And again, it has to be positive. It has to be affirmative. We do it in a round robin style. We each take one time. We don't respond other than like, oh, girl, that was good. But we go one at a time, and we do that for 5 minutes. So yeah,
and I think that's how we're going to end today's call.
Yes.
We're going to incorporate our goals for 2025 into the positive overthinking, because, honey, if it's a goal, what if it happened?
What if?
Okay.
All right.
Like,
ready? Okay. So what if I secured this $250,000 contract that's on the table?
Oh, yes, Lord. I'm gonna say, what if me and my family end up officially becoming digital nomads and living out of the country this year?
Love it.
I'm waiting. What if I've already secured my 6-figure contract? I'm just not gonna get notified until the new year.
Come on.
You will be notified in the new year.
I will be notified in the new year. What if I secured my 6-figure contract and I will be notified in the new year? Yes.
What if I grow my team to 5 people in 2025?
What if we sell the property for what we're asking now, and it's able to allow us to cover all of our expenses and still come out even on the other side?
What if I am able to get my assistant back and someone else to manage my brand to secure more speaking engagements on my behalf? Delegate.
What if I paid off all my debt 2025?
Lord, I'm gonna add that plus one. Business debt or personal debt?
Both of them. Oh, I said all the debt.
Both of them.
Be
specific.
Right. Let me think. What if I am able to make our current home profitable without renovating it?
What if I'm able to?
Yeah, while keeping it the same.
What if I'm able to secure another real estate property that completely eliminates all my housing debt, all my housing expenses, my personal housing monthly expenses?
Yes,
because we're trying to be out here in these streets.
Yeah. What if I launch a new business venture with my new partner?
Oh, yes.
Ram.
Exactly.
What if?
What if I'm able to make $200,000 in my digital marketing business?
Yeah, that's crazy. You got it.
Right.
What if? Yeah, that's easy.
Yes.
What if I continue sustaining? What if I live and work wherever the rump rests? What if I continue to live and work wherever my rump wants to rest?
Yes.
In 2025.
Yes.
Oh, it's my turn. What if I'm able to purchase a new car from my business?
Oh, come on. Come on.
That's the goal.
What if I'm able to monetize? No, it ain't even that. what if I'm able to get paid for the things that I do every day?
Yes.
Let's
Like, just
go.
just making money from the things I do every day.
Plus one, plus
Yeah.
affinity.
Mhm.
Yeah, plus 2.
Mhm.
What if I see just amazing, what if I see the outcome even more of just like how disciplined I am about my health and my sleep, and my ability to take care of myself in the year 2025? What if I see just the multitude of just the discipline I have of taking care of myself, just showing up in my body?
I love that, and I'm piggybacking off of that. What if I enjoyed resting? Just
Child.
the joy of rest. What if
Child.
I just sat in it and just luxuriated in the rest?
Yes. What if we're able to find the perfect setup for my entire family, my entire village to live close or with each other in my home state of North Carolina?
Mm.
Yep.
Yep. What if conversations about the Pum Pum Commune begin in 2025?
Like,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
I heard about that one. I don't know that one, but
What is this?
I don't know. We gotta talk about that one.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that one. Okay. What?
Okay.
Okay, so this is our final round. So make
Okay.
it a good one. Make it a good
Okay.
one. What if we took our first yacht life trip?
Oh,
Yacht life, baby.
girl.
Yeah. Let's do it. First one.
Child. Well, that's it. Like, I'm like,
I mean, touch and agree.
I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm just like, child, I'm gonna be thinking like, oh, Lord Jesus, Inez. What if I'm able to get my Range Rover in 2025?
Yes, get it. That's plus one.
Yes.
Business by it.
Oh. What if we all have a wait list of paid brand sponsorship and public speaking engagements in 2025?
Correct. Yes, correct. Yes.
Wait, okay. Yes. No, we can't take anymore right now. We're at capacity, but we'll
I'll get back to you. Like conference, maybe 2026. I'll be there. Okay.
Yes. I love it.
I love it.
So good. That is the best way to wrap up 2024. I am so excited. I want to tell y'all, when I joined this call initially, I was not excited. Okay. I was not in an excited mood. But that's what this call is for. Like, that's what this call is for. I'm excited about the new year. I'm excited about the things to come. Thank y'all so much for being here week after week. Even if you're watching, like, thank you for being here week after week. Drop us some of your major takeaways in the comments, whether it was from us or just in your life. And also drop some what ifs. Do some positive overthinking in the comments, okay?
Yes.
For your 2025. We will be back here next week, y'all, in January.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Cheers.